up with consciousness and controlled processes, okay? Can anybody just give me a quick definition of what a sensation is? A feeling. Yeah, that's a pretty easy definition. Now, what's a perception then? A thought that follows a feeling, maybe? Yeah, a thought about the feeling. It's pretty good. So this is pretty cool because we obviously have, let's jump forward just a little bit. We obviously have sensation or senses that receive information from our environment. Again, what are the 5 senses? Touch, taste, smell, hearing, taste, touch, smell, hearing, and vision. There you go, 5 senses. Pretty easy, right? Now, some scientists believe that there are more than 5 senses because not all of your sensory receptors are dedicated to one specific sense. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But some scientists believe that you have extra senses. I'm not talking like extrasensory perception, like being able to see into the future or anything like that. There are surely some people that do believe that. I, for one, like to kind of play around with that idea. I kind of like to, in my experience, I don't think the world is as simple as everybody likes to make it to be with all the secular views. So I do like to kind of play around with those ideas that there may be extra senses that we're not akin to. But just to highlight some of the ones that people would probably agree on that are outside of those 5 senses would be like the sense of balance. Okay, your equilibrium, right? Being able to stand on one leg. Anybody ever get on one of those gravitrons at the fair? Yeah, where you spin really, 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 really fast. And then once you get off, you feel really, 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 really dizzy. Anybody like those things? No, I am not one that really enjoys spinning around very fast. I get sick because I have like a bad right ear. And so the fluid in my right ear is all messed up. Come on in. No, you're fine. Come on in. Come on, I got it. Go ahead and sit down. So the fluid is all messed up in my right ear, and that causes me a little bit of balance issues. And so when I do go and spin around on these carnival rides, I get sick more easily. But that's an example of an extra sense. Not one of the 5 senses that everybody really agrees on, but that question will come up here in just a second. But perception is just a broader definition here. It's organizing and interpreting sensory information so that it makes sense. Okay, so once you receive that information from the environment through one of your 5 senses, then you have to somehow create a perception of it, whether it's top-down or bottom-up processing. Make more sense here in just a second, but I do want to flash this up on the screen. What colors do you see? Green and what? Green and blue? I'm talking about this shape right here. What colors? What color is this and what color is this? Gray and white. Are we sure about that? You already know it's the same color. Like, this is a psych class. You should be ready for some experimentation in here. But if I put my arm up right here and block that middle section, what do you see now? I might not be able to do this as effectively, so you might be able to do this a little bit more easily if you take your finger, close one eye, and kind of block it out yourself.
Same color.
Yeah, they're the same color now, right? So what's happening? Why is your brain perceiving these 2 things as different colors? Background's different. Okay. Does anybody remember that dress that popped up a couple years ago? The blue and black or the white and gold? What color did everybody see? Who saw the white and gold? You saw white and gold. It was what? It was blue. You could see both. Okay. I saw gold and blue. It was like a weird hybrid color of them. But essentially, the main theory on why you saw 2 different colors with that dress applies here. This, again, main theory, not a scientific fact or anything. But one of the main theories on why you see 2 different colors and applying that to the dress as well is where you perceive light coming from. Okay, so where do you normally perceive light coming from? The sun, right? Or above you, somewhere above you. That's normally where light is illuminating objects. Why? Because we evolved for thousands of years with the sun. And so in this photo, you have extra information other than just the background color and the object. What's that extra information? Well, probably the shadow that's being casted here. So you're not actually having to interpret any of that information. You're just processing that pretty automatically. And your brain is forming this photo in itself, basically saying, oh, these are two different colors. But really, it's just an optical illusion that's tricking your brain because of the perception of light. Now, if you don't believe me, you'll get, when you get the slides, take one of those RGB calculators. You can just look one up on Google. Grab the pixels here and grab the pixels there, like at the very bottom and at the very top, and you'll notice that they read the same exact pixels, which is pretty cool. It is crazy, right? Still trying to convince ourselves that they're...
Yeah, but it's like, how did your mind just do that? Like, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, have any of us ever seen The Rotating Ballerina? Where she's going both ways. But depending on which way you see first, it's really hard for you to like trick your brain into like seeing it going the opposite direction. And the people that have an easier time switching between rotating one direction, like clockwise versus counterclockwise, are said to have a better visual memory than some others. But we'll talk about visual memory when we get to that chapter on memory, okay? So jumping forward, any questions on that? No? It's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool optical illusions.